Ok, and we are live. ¿Qué tal, amigos? Espero que todos estéis bien hoy, martes, a las 7:35 de la tarde. And we are going to have a look at some of the main news items that have caught my attention today. Also, a few comments, the usual thing we will do. Plenty of activity already coming through in the chat section. Let's have a look. We've got Alan coming in. Ola Stu, please send heatwave to the UK. I wish I could send some of this good weather that we're having at the moment, although it is going to be hot by the end of the week. And we'll see that in a minute. We've got Bill Taylor saying hi from Stratton, Perth. I don't know whether that's Perth, Scotland or Perth, Western Australia. I imagine it is Perth, Scotland. Stratton, never heard of that suburb in Perth, WA, so I imagine that is there. Hi, Stu from Minneapolis. ¿Qué tal? Todo bien, Roland? Todo bien? Ahoy from Alora, says Chris, Valle del Sol. Andrew coming in from southeast London. Frio hoy today, he says. Not good. As I said before, I wish I could send you some of this good Madrid weather. Steve coming in. Good evening, Stu and everyone. St. Pete to Madrid. Ola from hot and sunny Madrid. 32 here. Heating up for the end of the week, Steve. St. Pete to Madrid. Heating up for the end of the week, so get ready for that. Dirt coming in from Villajoyosa down there in Alicante. And Diablo, Scorcher, where he is today, I think down there in Andalusia. So we'll have a look at some more comments or some more chat activity in a moment. But firstly, we will have a look at the first piece of news that has caught my attention today. Now, don't forget to hit that like button if you can. 99 people watching at the moment, 20 likes. So if you don't mind, please hit the like button just below the video. And if you want to give the video a dislike as well, which somebody has already done, you are quite welcome to also. Now, first piece of news today. Modern Andalusia in the face of cliches. Malaga, the southern startup that has caught Google's eye. Malaga is like a startup. At first, you have to give it a lot of visibility, but there comes a time when it goes viral and can die of success. The analogy is often used by one of the technology gurus of the capital of the Costa del Sol. His name is Bernardo Quintero, and he is the only one to blame for the fact that the giant Google has set its sights on Malaga to install its Center of Excellence for Cybersecurity, a milestone that is already taking shape in the old military government building barely 20 meters from the Muelle Uno shopping center in the city's port, and which will open its doors after the summer of 2023. So Malaga, it seems, is becoming a tech hub here in Spain. And as we see, catching the city has caught Google's eye. And Google is going to invest in the area and set up its Center of Excellence for Cyber Security, as we can see here. So well done, Malaga. Has a lot of characteristics that the tech companies are looking for. Obviously, good weather to attract employees. And obviously, there are some tax conditions, I imagine, that are attractive to these international companies setting up there, and also a vibrant local tech scene, I believe. So well done, Malaga, for attracting companies like Google to your area. Fantastic news for the city, and I'm sure that it is going to bring a lot of money into a place like Malaga, and also an attraction, one of those tech hubs, as I said, to bring more and more tech companies to the area, which is necessary because, as we know, Andalusia has historically suffered from high unemployment. Malaga no different, and hopefully jobs will be created. Now back into the chat section. Let's see what's going on. The mornings are cool here in Madrid, says St. Pete to Madrid. That is true. The mornings are cool. When I take the dog for a walk, it's about 14, 15 degrees, so quite cool. Miguel coming in from Derbyshire, not Derbyshire, as I have been picked up on saying before, 17 degrees Celsius. We've got Carol coming in from Austria. Martin says that he returned from Portugal, Porto in Portugal, back in Austria now. Very enjoyable. Yes, I know that Porto is an enjoyable city. Martin, I know that is the case. Portugal in general, very enjoyable, especially this time of the year when the weather starts getting a little bit better. 19 degrees in Surrey, Philadelphia. John is back there from Barcelona and Girona. Linda coming in from the USA. And as I said, plenty of activity here in the chat section already. We're up to 52 likes. So let's see if we can hit the 100 mark over the next few minutes. Tom's coming in from Finland, 15 degrees Celsius there. That's what the mornings are here. Grant Frank coming in from Sierra in Asturias. Hello, Grant Frank, a regular contributor. I saw your email, Grant Frank. I'll be in contact shortly for my upcoming trip to Asturias. Ivan coming in from London. Hello, Ivan. And Maga, another regular contributor here. Howdy doody, he says. Now the heat wave. Spain's Met Office issues yellow alert for temperatures soaring up to 38 degrees Celsius. The countdown to the official start of summer is quickening. There are only a few days left before the season begins, but tomorrow, Wednesday, the 8th of June, there will be a preview of what's to come in Malaga and on the Costa del Sol. Spain's National Weather Agency, AEMET, has activated a yellow weather warning for high temperatures, and in Malaga City, the mercury is forecast to hit 38 degrees Celsius. And 38 degrees Celsius in Malaga is unbearable with the humidity that they have in that part of Spain. Here in Madrid, 38 is unbearable, but with the dry heat that we have here, you can get by, but 38 degrees in Malaga, I can't imagine what that would be like. Sweating like an absolute cerdo. I imagine a lot of people will be tomorrow. And the weather's heating up all around the country. I think Madrid forecast to be 37 by the end of the week, 38 down there as we saw in Malaga. And the Canary Islands have also issued a heat warning for very high temperatures there as well. So Spain is hot, hot, hot at the moment. And if you like hot weather, fantastic. But if you're one of those people that don't like hot weather, time to go north. Time to go north. Asturias, Galicia, Cantabria, Basque Country, in the interior part of the Basque Country where the weather is cooler. That is the place to be. Or in the mountains. Even in the Madrid mountain range here, it's 5 degrees cooler normally. So that is also a place to be. Mugga says, smash that like. Yes, hit the like button. 75 now. Let's see if we can get to 100. Alan Simpson. We've got coming in from Clydebank in Hampshire. Hi from Madrid, Vessi. Hello, Vessi. Jane coming in from Cali, or Joni coming in from Cali in Colombia, I think that is. Sunny Hesham or Hesham there in Norfolk. Il Buzzo coming in, I think, from Africa somewhere. What else we got? 300 plus today, Stu. What's that for the people watching, Alan? I don't know. I don't think we'll get to 300. Only on rare occasions do we get over the 300 people watching. Normally around the 250, 260 mark normally. I'm happy with that. Can't get as many people watching, but people are picking up on the live streams after the event, which is also popular as well. Babs coming in from Wales. Martin coming in for, saying good for Malaga. Yes, absolutely. Well done, Malaga, for that. Rick Rock says Spain is an SH. Don't know what your problem is there, Rick Rock, but obviously this is not the place to be if you think that. Carol coming in saying that Karen coming in, hot. Absolutely right. And what else we got going on here? Carrie, not sure what's happening to Flaming June here in the UK. Yeah, well, probably you're going into autumn already there. You've had your summer. Maybe they turned it on for the Queen's Jubilee the other day. I saw a couple of people fainted because of the hot weather. I think it was 20 degrees in London. Some people fainted, obviously with that uniform on as well. Not good, but maybe you've already had your summer. That's a possibility. Hopefully not. All right, good. Now, what else we got going on here in the chat section? We've got, I'm going to get rid of somebody here because we don't want that type of activity in the chat section. So I'll get rid of somebody there, which I have the ability to do. Stan coming in from Poland. Hello, Stan. Now, third piece of news today, this one here, war on food waste in bars and supermarkets. New law to impose fines of up to 60,000 euros for food waste. So let's have a look at this one here. Spanish households throw away, not that they will throw away, 1,364 million kilos of food every year, an average of 31 kilos per person, according to 2020 data from the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Food. The government wants to stop this waste. With this aim in mind, this Tuesday, the Council of Ministers approved the draft law on the prevention of food losses and waste before sending it to Parliament and submitting it to parliamentary procedure. Among the measures introduced by this law, the general outlines of which El País has had access to, is that of obliging all agents in the food chain to draw up a prevention plan to avoid wastage. It also includes sanction for bars, restaurants and supermarkets that do not comply with this legislation. So there we go, €60,000 possible fine for food waste in bars and supermarkets. And as we saw here, those businesses are going to have to draw up a plan which will be approved, I imagine, by various inspectors so that the food is not thrown away and wasted. Because according to the government, we waste too much food here in Spain. So more regulation. Regulation on top of regulation on top of regulation. Always positive in my opinion. More regulation, the better. All right, what else we got going on? Chris, hi, tech companies are welcome in Malaga, but also low-tech companies that can make sand because all the beaches are being washed away. Yes, Chris, that could be a problem down there in Malaga. I remember that beaches to the east of Malaga, for example, Rincón de la Victoria, are all reclaimed sand, basically. They've taken it from the sea and built the beaches up there because before the water went all the way up to the highway that went through, there were no beaches in that part of Malaga. So they reclaimed sand and constructed beaches in some parts of Malaga, and every year, as we know, the seas rise and the beaches get smaller and smaller in some parts of the country. Absolutely. All right, what else we got going on? Makish says, haven't been live in ages. Good to be with you, Stu. Was in Madrid last weekend. Thankfully not too hot then. Thanks, Makish, for that comment. Yeah, it wasn't too bad at the weekend. We were lucky. We had a scorcher a couple of weekends ago, but last weekend, not too bad. It's ice cream weather in Spain, says Linda. Absolutely, it's ice cream weather. A nice streets cornetto or something along those lines would be nice at the moment. Or a nice tinto de verano, a nice summer drink. Also very good at this time of the year. Alan asked the question, I think you asked this question the other day, Alan, but I didn't see it. Is the infrastructure ready for electric cars in Spain? Not here in the UK. There is some infrastructure, Alan, more and more infrastructure as the days go by, especially when it comes to setting up places or points to charge your electric cars. But I think we're still a long way off. And I had this conversation with Johnny on the channel a few weeks ago, I think, or maybe last month or the month before, that with so many people living in flats here in Spain, and if everybody buys an electric car in your apartment building, how's everybody going to be able to charge the car at the same time, or whether there's going to be days allotted? I don't know how it's going to work, but at the moment, there are some charging points around the country, or around Madrid at least. I don't know what smaller cities are like, but here where I live, they're popping up more and more, as I said, as the days go by. But I don't think we're ready for a full tilt to electric cars just yet, Alan, to answer your question. But the government is planning that for the next decade or so. Mick coming in from Mareira. Hello, Mick. Jose Antonio coming in from the Royal City. A bit late today. Don't worry about it, Jose Antonio. You're welcome. We've got Curtis coming in. Evening, Stu. Hello, Curtis. Good to see you here again. Alan coming in saying that 38 is fine by him. If you've got a good air conditioning machine, Alan, I suppose that is the case, but you obviously enjoy the hot, humid Malaga weather. What else we got going on? John's saying here that, yes, after over 2 years, we are happily back in Calpe, enjoying the good weather. We stay near the pool for the next few days. Good to see, John, enjoying your time down there again after the pandemic. Good to see. We've got Alan saying 41 days until Lanzarote. Not long to go now, Alan. You'll be back there. So hopefully you will enjoy your trip. And what else we got going on here? We've got Miguel saying, Stu, the number of subscribers is going up steadily for you. Good news. Yeah, subscribe is not the most important aspect of YouTube, Miguel. The most important thing is that people watch the videos. I mean, you can have 1 million subscribers, but if only 10,000 people watch a video, you're not getting the full potential of your channel. And YouTube goes up and down, and people come on, people go off. So it's a bit of a roller coaster ride, but at the moment, I'm happy making videos, and I'm happy with the reaction that I get. So I'll continue doing it for a while. I don't see this as a long-term thing. You never know. I might get a creative streak and find a new subject to talk about. But at the moment, we're doing okay. But it's amazing how many people are popping up now, putting videos out here in Spain. And there's people that walk along beaches with their camera, filming girls in bikinis and putting it on the thumbnail. Got to be careful doing that, because I'm sure that if somebody sees themselves in a video that they didn't give permission to be in, you can get in trouble here in Spain with the data protection. But a lot of people doing walking videos along the beaches. They walk along the crowded beaches, and people seem to love those videos. But again, I don't know whether people on those beaches like being filmed secretly, which is what people are doing, especially if you end up in a bikini on the thumbnail without permission. That could be a bit of a problem. And other people walking around airports, I've noticed, talking about things, walking around the streets, a lot of people doing videos like that. So a lot of content coming out of Spain at the moment. So plenty of different choice for people to watch. Tafa saying that hola en Valencia, hace una brisa marina hoy muy agradable. There we go. Thanks for that, Tafa. Working on your Spanish, or maybe you are Spanish, I don't know, but thanks for that. Alan says even the food banks are empty in the UK. Don't know what's going on there regarding food banks, but anyway, now the next piece of news that we've got here is this one here, the last piece of news. A restaurant in Malaga publishes its waiter's salary on the menu, €1,648 per month and 2 days off per week, I imagine that would be. In, how do we pronounce this one? Grilla Era's menu, you can find a 5-story hamburger for $16.90 or a ribeye for $19.50, but also the salary and working conditions of its employees. This unusual menu has gone viral in just a few hours. In recent months, the sector has been surrounded by controversy due to the precarious conditions, such as those that came to light during the last Feria de Abril in Seville. Waiters working 9 consecutive days, 12 hours a day, for barely €450, a situation that is forcing many to abandon a trade that is increasingly suffering from a lack of manpower. So there we go, €1,600 a month salary, working in a restaurant here. I think it's some type of chain. There's various ones around the place, I think, and one in Malaga, another one in Granada, I believe. 2 days off a week. So if you're willing to work for that, I'm sure that there are jobs going here in Spain, because as we saw yesterday, 50,000 waiters needed to handle the summer season. So a lot of places are going to be understaffed, I imagine, during those summer months. And I've been to Malaga on numerous occasions, and the service, if I remember correctly, wasn't very good, even when there was no waiter shortage. So I can't imagine what it's going to be like in some places when the summer season starts and there are 2 or 3 waiters down. But as we saw here, €1,648 a month. Good salary? Bad salary? Don't know. Give us your opinion. Would you be willing to work for that here in Spain with 2 days off a week? I don't know. I'm sure that some people would be, some people wouldn't be. Standing on your feet all day, taking ribeyes to tables. Interesting. All right, good. Plenty of activity. Roger, looking to return to the Canaries again. Rosemary, coming in from Torrevieja. More regulation, says Miguel. More compliance, more jobs for some people. Absolutely. Curtis says here, households are the biggest wasters of food in the UK. Now, also here in Spain, I think, Curtis, as we saw before. I don't think it helps that supermarkets offer so many 2-for-1 deals, but buy what you need. Absolutely, there we go. There are some companies that go around picking up the food that is thrown out by supermarkets and they recycle it. There's a company called ReFood that recycles supermarket food, turns it into animal feed. So there are different things that they can do with that waste. But of course, as Miguel says there, more regulation, more compliance, more jobs for civil servants, I imagine. All right, good. Makish says that we need food videos from me. Yeah, I'm planning on it, Makish. I'm doing some renovation work in the kitchen at the moment. When that finishes, we should be ready. I might do some of my mother-in-law's dishes. A very good cook, my mother-in-law. She has some very nice dishes. I'll get the recipes and I'll put them out there. So stay tuned for that. All right, Grant says 2 months ago in Sierra Asturias, we started having a brown waste container where you put all your food or organic waste. They process it into fertilizer. Yeah, that's starting to happen around the country. We've got that here as well now, Grant Frank. We've got the brown container. We've got a green container, a yellow container, blue container, green container, and now a brown container as well. So another container in the street. So the being turned into compost, I imagine. That's what they're doing with that. All right, good. Do Spanish supermarkets donate much food to food banks, says Kari. Don't know, Kari, whether Spanish supermarkets donate food to food banks or not. I imagine they do. Because food banks are a necessary part of society here as well. Diablo says that the other channels don't come close to yours, mate. Thank you very much, Diablo, for the compliment. I'll take that on board. I've seen some of the other content, and, people like different things. If you like watching people walk up and down a beach, filming people in their bathing suits, fantastic. That's what a lot of people are doing nowadays. Walking tours as well around cities, which some of them are interesting. I like some of them. But some of the videos that I have seen being put out recently in some parts of the country, not going to mention where, but pretty low quality, especially when it comes to shaky camera work. Nothing worse than shaky camera work, in my opinion. And videos where the sound is affected by wind. I mean, there are ways to, if you're filming outside, there's nothing worse than having wind-affected sound. So it's not difficult to fix, but you've got to spend the money, basically. All right, we'll have a look at the first comment today. Danny, waiters and waitresses were in a job they didn't like? Question. Okay. But had no choice. And then COVID ripped tourism apart and wondered why they didn't return. They found something better. Probably, Danny, that could be right. They found a better job that pays better than working in the tourism sector or the hospitality sector. That could be true. And maybe that's right. They were working in these jobs pre-COVID. And then, of course, they realized that it wasn't the best job for them. Something else came along. For example, putting solar panels on somebody's roof, which is a boom sector at the moment. People might have gone into that sector. And they've abandoned the bars and restaurants where, as we know, people have traditionally not been paid very well and working long hours. And a lot of precarious conditions in those jobs as well, unfortunately. Now we're up to 132 likes, so we've cracked the 100 mark. Let's see if we can get up to 150 by the time the live stream ends. I'll go back into the chat section here. A. Nelson coming in from San Miguel de Salinas near Torrevieja, looking forward to his trip to Scotland. So going the other way back there, are you A? Haven't seen the family for nearly 2 years. Very excited. Be driving the camper with the 2 dogs. I see you're going back to Scotland, that you haven't been back for a couple of years because of COVID. Oh, fantastic. Well done. And obviously going back for some cooler Scottish weather. I remember going to Scotland in August back in the early 90s, and I think it rained for the week that I was there, if I remember correctly, because I was camping and it was not a pleasant experience. But anyway. All right, what else we got here? No donations to food bank Law is different in regards to food in Spain. There are no food banks, only church support, says John. I can't say whether that's true or false, John, but I'll take your word for it. Thank you very much for your input there. What else we got going on here? What else we got going on here? Let me see if I can find. Chris says, well done to that restaurant before for offering a decent salary. Dirk says that is a good salary. We've got one of your comments coming up in a minute, Dirk, and we'll point that out, what you said in that comment, so stay tuned for that. Don't be shy, guys. Drop a like and show Stu some love, says Makish. Thank you very much. Nearly up to the 150 mark. So again, thank you very much for that support, guys. 225 people watching at the moment, so we could even crack the 250 mark as well. Let's hope so. Now, what else we got going on here? I'll see if I can find another comment, but in the meantime, I'll go into another comment section here from Dirk, precisely. And he says, almost 3 million without a job and they're just lazy. Question. The restaurant where his wife works, pay $13.50 and you get your tips. And still they can't find people here in Villajoyosa and Benidorm. So $13.50. What did we see before? Before we saw $16.50 more or less. We're talking $13.50 here with tips. So I don't know what that would work out to with tips, Dirk, because I don't know whether Spanish people are good tippers or not, to be honest. I sometimes see maybe 10, 20, 30 cents left on a table after somebody's had a meal, but not often more than that. So I don't know whether you're going to be able to bring in a lot more with your tips, but $13.50 working in Benidorm, and people are not willing to work for that salary. So maybe, again, they're going to have to increase those salaries. But again, one of the big problems that we have here is that $13.50 that we see there is what the person gets in their hand. And then the company, on top of that, $13.50, put another 40% on top of that is what the employer would have to pay, I think, for Social Security and other costs. So 40% on top of that. So you're around the 2,000 mark. That's what the salary works out to. So those extra costs that the employer has to put on top are one of the reasons why salaries remain around that $13.50 mark, because the Social Security costs can be a little bit expensive, in my opinion. But as I always say, I won't say it, but as I always say, you know what I always say. All right, good. Now, Stu, will you do a live stream barbecue, please? Yeah, I could do one of those, Alan, I suppose. Next time I have a barbecue. Don't know whether I'll be doing barbecues this weekend if it's going to be 37 degrees, but I'll take all of these suggestions on board. I'll take them all on board. Cooking videos, barbecue live streams. Yeah, we could all do things like that. What else we got going on here? Benidorm videos, total rubbish. Barmaid on roller skates, ha. There are different Benidorm YouTubers at the moment. The lady that you're talking about there, I think she's quite popular on YouTube. I don't know what she does is she a barmaid, is she? Okay, there we go. So she's obviously up to speed with what's going on in that sector down there, and that's what people like to know. They like to know what bars are offering cheap beer at the moment, what bars have got fish and chips on the menu, what beers have got pies and mushy peas on the menu. That's what people are interested in, because obviously they're planning a trip to Benidorm, and she keeps people up to date. Then there's another girl called Anna who's also doing videos out of Benidorm. There's a few other people as well that are putting videos out from Benidorm. So plenty of Benidorm content out there at the moment. Now, what else we got going on here in the chat section? Dennis says, any news about the Camino? The Camino's open and up and running at the moment. Den, I don't think there's any changes to that. Everything's normal. No restrictions in Spain at the moment. There are some checks for people coming in from the UK, I believe. But if you're travelling to Spain from the European Union, now there are no checks. I had a friend come in from Dublin this morning. He got stopped by an official and was asked for a COVID certificate. But when he explained that he was coming in from the European Union, he was able to go through. So they're doing random checks just to make sure that people, if they need a COVID certificate, have one. UK, I think, or proof of vaccination from other countries outside the European Union. But for the EU, nothing at all anymore. All right, Dirk says around 100 euros a week on tips. Not bad if it's 100 euros a week, Dirk. So that's an extra 400 in your pocket a month. So that brings your salary up to what? 1750. So getting better. What else we got going on here? Diablo says that he normally tips. Let's have a look. By default, he tips, assuming service is good, 10%. To be honest, I found most of our Spanish friends do not tip anywhere near that. This is my point before, Diablo. Most likely to pop 50 cents on the table. Exactly. Most likely. It depends on the quality of the restaurant as well, where you go, and of course how much money you've got to spend on a tip. But let's be honest, we're not Johnny Depp here in Spain, where you can throw 20 euros to the waiters at the end of a curry, which I think he did yesterday somewhere there in England or Scotland, I think, wherever he was yesterday. Spent £80,000, was it, in a curry restaurant. So we're not all Johnny Depp. But anyway, yeah, 50 cents seems to be the norm. €1, maybe 2, depending on the price of the meal. 10%. A lot of people wouldn't put 10 euros on the table, Diablo, after a €100 meal. I can almost guarantee that. Michael coming in from San Diego. There we go. That's what I said before about the Social Security costs. 2,000 to hire for 1,300 in the hand. That's what the reality is. So you're looking at 700 on top of that. That's what people don't see. All of that money going into that Social Security fund to pay for the pension system. What else we got going on here? We've got good evening, Stuart. Fine weather down here in Rojales. Arrived safely. Good to see. Good to see that you arrived well and that the weather is good. Barbecues are banned in Castilla-La Mancha, even in your home, says Jose Antonio. So luckily I'm not living in Castilla-La Mancha. Is that even for gas barbecues, or is it just wood and coal barbecues? Jose Antonio, please let us know. Carol asks, where does one donate a good used clothing in Spain? I have never seen any such facility in Estepona. Here in Madrid, Carol, there are these green tall bins around the place where you can deposit your clothes to a company called Humana that run this. They are a little bit controversial. There was one of these investigation shows on the television a few years ago that investigated this company, and apparently they were selling the clothes that they were getting, allegedly. I'm going to put that out there, allegedly. So there was a bit of a scandal around that. Don't know whether it's changed, but behind this company, they were getting people's clothes and selling them in foreign markets. So that's what that investigative show pointed out. That's how I've got that information. Whether they've changed, I do not know. But normally these big tall green bins are where people leave the clothes that they no longer want. All right, we're up to the 33-minute mark, 160 likes. Thank you very much for that. Remember to hit the like button. We'll see if we can get up to 180 likes today. That'd be great. Got a little bit more content to go through. We'll be around 36 minutes, I reckon, today. Outdoor chilled, €3.50 is the maximum I've experienced for a café con leche y un croissant con queso y jamón in Barcelona, as per June 2022. Possibly more in fancy places, but I don't visit fancy places. Yeah, this is a debate that we had the other day. We started this conversation about how much it costs for a cup of coffee. I think somebody in the UK said that they paid £3 for a cup of coffee, and they were outraged at that. In Australia, you can pay $6 for a cup of coffee in some parts of the country, and put a croissant with your coffee, and you're probably paying around $15 or $16 in some places. And if you want to have a more substantial breakfast, for example, a few pieces of toast with a few eggs and some smashed avo, which seems to be all the rage in Australia, you're you're going to be paying $25 for a breakfast down there in Australia. But here in Spain, we're still lucky that we can get a café con leche for around €1.50 and a breakfast deal for around €3. Even in the center of Madrid, you can get breakfast deals. So if you ever come to Madrid, don't get ripped off paying expensive breakfasts in a hotel. Hotels will, try to charge you 10 or 15 euros per day for a breakfast. And just go to the local bar and order a café con leche or a café cortado. Or if it's in summer, you order a café solo con hielo, and you order a piece of toast with some olive oil and tomato. And as I said, for around €3, normally that's what that type of breakfast will cost you. So don't pay 10 or 15 euros for a breakfast in a hotel. That would be my advice. All right, what else we got going on here? People are curious about the barbecue ban in Castilla-La Mancha. I think that's because there was a serious bushfire a few years ago. Jose Antonio, please correct me if I'm wrong. In Guadalajara, somebody had a barbecue and it got a bit out of control and set fire to a forest, and I think a few people died, unfortunately, in that fire. So that is most likely the reason why fires are banned in that part of Spain, or barbecues are banned, because a few loose sparks and you've got a problem. All right, good. Now we'll go back into the chat section here. Marie saying that car hire expensive. Yes, it is expensive at the moment. That is true. What else we got going on here in the chat section? Some countries, they add service charge to the bill, so you're tipping whether you want it or not. That is true also. In Spain, that doesn't happen. The bill is what it is, and then if you want to add something extra, you can. And so we don't have a service charge added like they do in, I think maybe in London, I've seen service charge added to the bill. Maybe in the States as well, not sure. Now, final thing that we'll look at today, this one here from MDC. Melbourne, bacon and eggs cost Aussie $25. Outrageous, they say. Absolutely, it is outrageous. And I'm surprised every time I go back to Australia just how expensive the country is compared to when I left. It is unbelievable, some of the prices that you see there, especially alcohol prices. You go to a restaurant, they charge you $15 for a glass of wine. Don't even worry about buying a bottle. Sometimes it's around the $100 mark for a bottle of wine, $10 for a bottled beer. A pint can sometimes be anywhere from where I come from, Western Australia, anywhere from $8 to $12 for a pint. Very expensive. If you're a smoker, forget about smoking in Australia. You pay around $35 or $40 for a packet of cigarettes nowadays in Australia. Even if you go to the bottle shop and buy beer, you pay a lot of money nowadays. So Australia has become a very expensive country, and breakfast, as we saw there, bacon and eggs, $25 Australian dollars. So, I don't know what's gone on down there, but obviously salaries must be in line with those prices. But when you come from a country like Spain to Australia and you're used to paying around $3 for your breakfast, then all of a sudden you get slapped $25 for your bacon and eggs. It's a real eye-opener. I'll give you the tip. It is a real eye-opener. All right, good. Now, that was the last thing we're going to look at content-wise. So we're up to nearly the 40-minute mark here. So this is a record today as well. 175 likes. Thank you very much for that, guys. Now, I'm going to start to wrap it up. There's been a good debate going on about tipping, whether you need to tip or not. I always tip, even if somebody brings me food delivery. I always put an extra euro or €1.50, whatever I've got lying around in change. Because, as we know, salaries we saw before, not that high, and people working in these jobs struggling a lot of the times to make ends meet, so everything helps. Thank you very much, everybody, for your participation today in the chat section. Thank you very much for the 265 people watching at the moment. I'm going to say goodbye. Most likely there will be a video tomorrow. Can't guarantee it because I have to do a few things. I'm going to try, but maybe time will get the better of me, so I'll see. And if not, next live stream will be on Thursday at 7:30 p.m. So hopefully I'll see you there. Have a good day. Hasta luego.